welcome to Family Movie Night, where we'll be talking about what we watch for Family Movie Night. My name is Mike, and today we are talking about The Grinch. And it's a rare instance where we're going to do a triple feature with this because we're going to talk about all three Grinch movies. One is technically a TV special, but it is the 1966 original version of how Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Then we'll pivot to the live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000, directed by Ron Howard, and then we'll pivot finally to the 2018 version of The Grinch from, I believe, Illumination. That sounds right. Yeah. So, but first, let's start with the OG, the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a TV movie from 1966. Premise: a grumpy hermit hatches a plan to steal Christmas from the Who's of Whoville. This is famously voiced or Boris Karloff is the narrator and the voice of the Grinch, and then it's only 26 minutes long. And to me, this is probably one of the greatest Christmas anythings out there. So there's a lot to love about this. The music is fantastic. Then, in addition to that, just it really hits home just what the story is. It doesn't draw anything out. It's just basically the whole premise of the story is just somebody who, realizes that Christmas doesn't come from stuff, it comes from the spirit of the people around you. So, and Christmas comes regardless of all the bad that happens. Just look at what happened during like World War One, or just any like big disasters that people still will recognize that Christmas is just out there. The song, the You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, it's a classic through and through. The sequence of the Grinch just taking everything, it really hammers home the relationship between the Grinch and Max. Cindy Lou is properly calibrated as just a random who just confronts the Grinch, and she's tiny, and that's really about it. So the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas is, to me, is just one of the greatest stories, the greatest, Christmas specials that there is out there. However, Hollywood just does not like to let things, go. So we have the 2000s version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is directed by Ron Howard. The premise: on the outskirts of Whoville lives a green, revenge seeking Grinch who plans to ruin Christmas for all of the citizens of the town. This stars Jim Carrey as the Grinch, Taylor Momsen as Cindy Lou Who, Jeffrey Tambor as Mayhew, Christine Baranski as Mary May Hoover, whatever, Molly Shannon, Josh Ryan Evans, and famously, as usual, Clint Howard. So, for all those people out there who are pretty cynical about, you know, live action movies, do they keep in the spirit of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, or of the animated original? I feel like this one did a pretty good job of that. I think Jim Carrey is phenomenal, but not only Jim Carrey is kind of outdone by his makeup, because the makeup is the best part about this. So like the way that the Grinch looks is utterly fantastic. And the fact that they kind of gave the Grinch a little bit of a backstory as well. So I give this actually a ton of credit for trying to do something new and trying to do something that is different. It's long. It's like three times longer than actually no, it's more like five times longer than the original animated version. So that's a lot of backstory, a lot of things that are just need to fill up the time. Did the Grinch need a love interest? Not really, but just an explanation of how the Grinch became the person that he is today. I think that would would have sufficed just fine. Another expanded role for Cindy Lou Who. Cindy Lou Who, the more and more people get entrenched with the Grinch lore, I suppose, the more and more people want to make Cindy Lou Who just kind of like a bigger thing than what she is. But whatever, it's fine. It is what it is with that. I think Ron Howard does a fantastic job. And also shout out to Anthony Hopkins for just delivering a just stellar job of telling the story and being the narrator for everything here. So overall, I like this version. It is long. I am a sucker for the song "Where Are You Christmas" from this. I get a little, a little choked up when I hear that song, and I will give them credit also because this story takes place on a snowflake, which I thought that part was really cool. That takes us to the 2018 version of The Grinch. It is an animated version. Premise: a grumpy Grinch plots to ruin Christmas for the village of Whoville. This one is starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch, Cameron Seeley as Cindy Lou Who, Rashida Jones as her mom, Pharrell Williams as the narrator, Keenan Thompson, Angela Lansbury, and just a bunch of other people. This movie is perfectly fine. I think that Illumination gets a little bit of hate for this one because it's trying to do, some things like a little different, which I don't have a general problem with. I think this is a little on the overhated side. Look, is it going to be as good as the other two? No, it's not. I honestly think that a big reason why this isn't this is probably more hated than it actually is because the Tyler the Creator version of "You're a Green One" or "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," which I don't think that, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. Benedict Cumberbatch is really great as the Grinch. I was reading that he does his own voice with it, so I did I did definitely appreciate that quite a bit. There's a lot of music in this, and not just like original music, but it also is just paying homage to just Christmas music in general. So I always found that to be a lot of fun. So if I'm ranking these in order, it would be the order that I said these in. So for me, number one with a bullet, nothing's going to change that, is the 1966 original version. The second one is the 2000s version, and then the 2018 version, which is this most recent one, is there. So these all do get a thumbs up for me because they all serve a very similar purpose, just to talk about how the spirit of Christmas isn't defined by the stuff that you get. It's more defined by the people you're with and the moments you share together. Christmas is not a thing, it's a feeling. And that's something that I'm always going to take away from this. This always gets me in the mood to, just celebrate Christmas. So I'm really excited for that. But what do you think? What is your definitive version of The Grinch? Let me know. Or if you like the book better, just go with that. Shout out to my good friend Nick Farrow, who has How the Grinch Stole Christmas memorized. So good for him. The book, not, well, maybe the animated one. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask him that a little bit more. But that's going to do it for this episode of Family Movie Night. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew, wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out, follow us on Letterboxd at MLHilty2452 and follow our list labeled Family Movie Night. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you've got any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at hiflyercreative.com. Check out the other shows on our network. We've got a lot of great content, and really proud of the work that everybody puts in. So please check out the other shows on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And finally, if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, happy watching, friends.